What's up?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Very cool. Very cool. So, first of all, thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I want to ask you, there's so many things to talk about. You're a coach and you're an athlete and you want to do a triathlon. Let's jump right into the triathlon first because I got a buddy, John Powers, who pointed out that he had done one. And what is it? It's swimming, it's running, it's cycling, right? All that?
Yep. So it's a sprint triathlon because I'm only a little crazy. So shorter distances. It's swimming and then biking and then running. So I've been a swimmer pretty much my whole life. Started in when I was really young. Did it in high school competitively. And then I started running in the fall of 2019. So I figured why not just add the biking in.
For sure. Yeah. Swimming, Michelle, and I know you know this, but for those that don't, it's a full body workout. I think it's a little misleading because you don't, well, you do sweat, but you can't see it, right? Because you're underwater. But it's probably one of the most intense workout measures there is.
Gets your heart rate going real quick, real fast.
Definitely. Now running also, a lot of people are into running, whether it's short distance or, long distance, they do marathons, 5Ks and upwards. Uh, which one of the three would you say is the hardest for you?
So I did my first half marathon in Gatlinburg 2 weeks ago, and it was definitely, I'm glad I trained for it because it was definitely hard. My goal was to be as close to 2 hours as possible, and I actually got 1:57:46. So I was super excited for that.
Very cool. Gatlinburg is so beautiful. I've not been down there, but I know some people that have gone. Now you're in Indiana, right?
I am Southern Indiana, about an hour north of Louisville.
Very cool. Very cool. And I noticed that you're with a 502 company. So that's why, like, what company is that?
It's 502 Fit. They do athletic clothing.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So it's like an hour away is kind of stretching it a little bit, but we call it all Kentuckiana, Southern Indiana, and Louisville. So I guess you're right there on the border there of that. So you're also into coaching. So
Mhm.
talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my husband and I started core coaching and nutrition in January of this year. So he has gone through an amazing transformation. You can check out his page at Core JRC. And so a lot of what we do is started with him and what his goals were. He lost 180 pounds in 1 year. So he started at 325 and worked his way down, and is now turning around and working himself right back up. So he's doing amazing.
Very cool. Yeah, I started, PJ kind of gave me a really cool challenge because I'd gone to, what's it called? The biometrics. I went to the little clinic at Kroger and for work we have the biometrics and they test your blood pressure, your weight, all that fun stuff. But I was at 367 and I had not weighed that much, I don't think, in my whole life. Maybe a little bit more, but that was like really high for me. And especially because the year prior, right before COVID hit, I was around 330 and I was feeling real good. Like I thought I was on my way. And I told him I was like freaking out. My fasting blood glucose was 100, which they say 110. They say 100 is like the cutoff. PJ told me not to even really worry about that because like it's not the most accurate test, but nonetheless, it was 367 was massive. And so he said, I will give you $5,000 if you get down to 250 by December 31st. Now, mind you, this was late January, and now I'm at 285. So I really feel like I'm going to get it. And but I got to tell you, though, that's going to be, I believe, 117 pounds. But your husband, 180 pounds?
Yeah, he got down to 180. So
My gosh,
math.
that is
Yeah.
that is massive. Yeah, that is a huge. Now you say he's working his way back up. Is he recomping? Is he doing like putting on muscle and getting up that way?
Yep. So he's starting to add muscle back on. He's been working at it for about 4 years now, putting it back on. He's hoping to compete when he becomes a master in the Masters. So he's got a couple more years, but he's super excited. And I'm super proud of him.
Oh, and I'm proud of him too, and I think that's amazing. I'm gonna just read a couple comments because I'm horrible about reading comments. So let's see here. I'm gonna just go up. Let's see. We got Core JRC. What's up, my man? How are you? Congrats. We got Mary in the house. We got Steph Loki from Australia. I don't think Steph Loki ever sleeps, and she's got the best hair ever. We got Allie in the house, and then Greg Mueller, also from the Legion, says that's nothing. I was 115 and A1C was still fine. Yeah, the blood glucose is very iffy, but it's what the biometrics does. So Now, with regards to the Legion, Michelle, how did you come across the Legion? Like, what was your first interaction with Blackstone Labs?
So my friend Mike, who's actually on here, I think I saw him come on. He was the one that we were talking about pre-workouts and the caffeine in them, non-caffeine. And so I started trying them, and Dust V2 is the first one I found that doesn't tear my stomach up. So that was kind of like my intro in, and I still love it to this day. And watermelon's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
But then moved on to do Harmonize as well as the BCAAs and the butterscotch whey protein. So those are
Very
my
cool.
my favorites and all the ones I use.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I mean, yeah, I mean the butterscotch I like. My favorite isolation like right now is unicorn milk. I love the pound cake and then the spooky candy. But you know, butterscotch is really, really good. I actually was surprised. I didn't think, because I'm a
I think I
skeptic,
like it.
and it actually tastes like butterscotch, which is great, truth in advertising, right? But yeah, I think it's awesome that you were able to take the Dust V2 and that it works so well for you. And then we got a lot of people, like there was a question at the Blackstone Labs Legion Instagram, excuse me, Blackstone Labs Legion Facebook group. And I'm not going to say who it was, so I don't want to put him out there, but he wanted to take Paraburn and Viper. And people were like, no, 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 that's like 500 milligrams. That's like a lot. But some people actually do that because they can't get their hands on arson right now because it's sold out. So it's just one of those things. Excuse me, Dust. Yes. So we have another question. I got to try the butterscotch spooky candy. Yes, please. And we got also John Mancini in the house. And who else came in? I'm so sorry. I'm actually, this is the first time I actually do this, Michelle. I don't ever like acknowledge people that come in. We got Omni Muscle also, who's diehard. So with regards to the Legion, like what do you like about it, Michelle? Like what are your thoughts in terms of, the camaraderie and just like the family vibe?
That is one of my favorite things. I love that, I'm a bodybuilder because I do body build, but I'm not into competitive shows, but it doesn't matter. And that's, I think, one of the best things about it is it doesn't matter what your goals are. The Legion is behind you 100%. So I can say, hey, great job. A lot of people are, 5 weeks out from a show, 12 weeks out from a show, but turn around and run a half marathon and everyone's like, you got this, go. And that is one of my favorite parts is it's a family.
Absolutely. PJ often says that the most important part of Blackstone Labs for him is the Legion, and I truly believe it. When he asked me to run it, I was floored because the person that ran it before, had given me a lot of opportunities, but it was always like kind of like didn't want me to do too much, obviously, because like I was just so gung ho about it, and then and I don't feel like I was the reason that that person was let go or whatnot. But like when that person was let go, I was like, I really want to do this. And I met with PJ at Supplement Warehouse up in close to Chicago. And, he's like, just be patient, good things are coming. And, I'm ecstatic. I'm so happy to run the Legion. And actually, John Mancini brings up a great point too. Dust Reloaded is supposed to be like, I mean, a lot of people are just like going nuts about it because you've got all the benefits of dust and all the benefits of hype, and it's just kind of like, and there's a nootropic in there as well. So I think it's going to be an amazing product.
I'm super excited to try it.
Definitely. So what are some goals that you have for yourself, like with regards to the short and long term? I know you've got this business
Mm-hmm.
with your husband, which, by the way, I think is great because if I believe never say never. People are like, there's never going to be another lockdown. It's never going to go back to 2020. But like before 2020, we had never had anything like that. So I just
Right.
opt to say never. If God forbid it were to go back like that, I think a personal training business is so ideal because you can actually give people a whole world of possibilities to work out with at home and how to eat and just, I think it's really important. So with regards to your business, with regards to
Mm-hmm.
triathlons, like what are some goals that you have?
One of our biggest ones is just, growing our business. And that really is, it's more about helping people. We have a horrible business model is what we tell people is that we really want to teach foundational skills. So we can tell you exactly what to do all the time and we can customize it to you. But if you don't learn it, you're going to need us forever. And that's not really the point. We want to be able to teach you. Now, once you've learned the foundational skills, let's go on to your other goals and, keep building stuff. So that's kind of our business model. Which I just love to help people. So I think that that's really fun. For the other goals, after I'm doing next weekend, we're going to Baltimore and I'm doing a 10K in Baltimore. So I'm super excited for that. And then after that, it will be like a hardcore 16 weeks. I got to get stronger legs. So we'll be going into heavy lifting and building up that muscle. I'm not running outside when it's 32 degrees outside. So when the spring comes, we'll do some more races outdoors. Getting a lot of my friends involved in running. A lot of them have never ran before. And so they're like, okay, I'll try. And so we're going to do some races in the spring with the girls and stuff.
Well, I think that's really cool. A few things that you said there that I really think are awesome. Number one, with your coaching, the fact that you want people to learn and then advance to, different levels. A lot of coaches, I feel like, would never want to do that. They would want to keep a client, like, kind of like, they would want the client to reach their goals, but they would never want the client to learn it's kind of like they would prefer to give them the fish instead of teaching them how to fish.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's great that you and your husband want to do that, because the person's going to grow in their knowledge of fitness. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be the need to have you anymore.
Right.
You just keep teaching them more things and expanding their horizons all the while they're learning. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. That's a great business model, I think. And we got Josh Manos in the house. What's up? And we got 77 Christine in the house. Very cool. Great. You're I think that says following your passions and helping others, killing it. Yeah, and that's so important, because a lot of times, like I said, people are scared to pass on too much knowledge because they're scared that there's not going to be a business future in a relationship. And, and that's just doesn't have to be the case. Yeah. The other thing too that I like is that you're spreading running and you're spreading fitness to your friends. Mm-hmm. And because a lot of times people would be reluctant to do that because they're like, well, I don't want to cramp your style, or maybe they're not interested, or maybe the friend asks a cursory question. And then beyond that, they don't follow up. I think it's great that you're, I don't think you're pressuring your friends, but you're showing them this really fun pastime that's actually going to help them with their health as well.
Yeah, and it really helps them too, just to think of different things to do and be motivated. Working out makes you happy, and happy people are much happier throughout the day as a whole, not just for the few minutes that they're running.
Exactly. And I also want to welcome Brian to the house too. Awesome. And and so I think that's great. And it releases endorphins. It sounds like Legally Blonde, but it's true. Or mm-hmm. Mean Girls. I don't know which one movie it is, but yeah, people with endorphins, they don't commit crimes. So yeah, so I think that's awesome. And again, I could talk to you forever, but I'm really trying to get into the habit of doing like the 15 minutes for less, so I can ensure I'm all over the place. But this has been a lot of fun. And I've got a catching up series that Rose Medina will be my first catching up. So maybe in a couple of months or so, we can do a catching up, and you can tell me all about running in 32-degree weather in Baltimore, which I'm sure you're really looking forward to.
Yeah, it'll be great. Awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much for Michelle Cordy. This is Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com. Thanks, Michelle.
Bye, guys.